I just want to save you the heartache. Do not have sex and do not dress provocatively. Such a mistake makes me cringe. Hi friends, it's me April. Welcome back to my channel, Kimchi Warrior Princess. I'm all about style, personal development, being chic and classy. Be ready for a super fun video where I have 5 tips for dating apps on being chic and classy, and also 5 of my own craziest Bumble date stories. Personally, I've been off of these apps for the past few years. However, I think that although the technology changes, that these tips will still be applicable. And also stay tuned at the very end. I may or may not have a bonus date or 2 that I want to share with you all. Okay, so starting with rule number 1, that is do not have sex and do not dress provocatively. And by saying do not have sex, I mean you do not want to be the woman who has sex and then asks, where's this relationship going? It should be the other way around. You'll save yourself so much heartache. I've seen this happen to so many of my friends, so just seriously avoid it. Don't do it. It's like throwing diamonds into the dumpster, okay? And then for dressing provocatively, on dates you want to dress, pretty much you want to dress classy. And if you don't know what that means or how to do that without looking like you're trying too hard, I think I'll actually probably be making a video on that soon. If you do want to see that, drop a comment below. So step number 2, this one's actually quite simple. It's don't pay and know your worth. So your time and presence is payment enough. The man should be able to cover a date. If not, he shouldn't be on a dating app. If you know that he's in a career which is quite low paying, then it's perfectly acceptable to meet somewhere cheap, a cup of coffee, which is actually even more ideal early on. You want to keep it short and sweet. So I've had friends ask how to always have the guy pay for a date, and it's actually very simple. Do not offer. So when the bill comes, I completely ignore it and they will always take care of it. If the waitress happens to bring it when he's stepped away, I'll simply just ask the waitress to return it when he returns, or I'll move it over to his side of the table. So I'm quite traditional when it comes to dating. I know this is a very personal choice, so you don't have to agree with me here, but the man should be a gentleman for date number 1. Okay, so for tip number 3, an unknown equals a no. So by that, what I mean is, say that you and the boy matched and have been speaking since Tuesday. So say it is Tuesday and you've agreed to meet Thursday evening, and then Thursday morning rolls around, you haven't heard any details of exactly where and what time you're meeting, and then now it's Thursday lunchtime and you still haven't heard anything. And this is quite common. By this point, you should have 100% completely dumped him in your brain. Do not even think about it. Make other plans for Thursday night, because he has not respected your time or anything about you at this point. Do not reach out to him. Don't go and delete or block or do anything. Just leave it completely, like, don't act like it doesn't even exist, bother you, or anything at that point. The only exception to this rule is if he reaches out first, at least a couple hours before your agreed upon range and time, with a complete apology of why X, Y, and Z prevented him from talking to you sooner and giving you the details that you needed. And it can't just be like a, hey, like a casual conversation starter. It needs to be like, hey, I'm so sorry. My boss called me in and I've been working nonstop for the past 8 hours and I really wanted to text you, but I didn't have a chance, and this is my first opportunity. Will you please meet me for steak dinner at Mastro's tonight at 8? So that would be ideal. Unfortunately, this never happens. But at this point, I want you to know that your worth is so much higher than somebody who doesn't take your time seriously. So tip number 2 is be open to your non-negotiables and to be authentic. And these are pretty self-explanatory. And by non-negotiable, I don't mean your major beliefs. Those are definitely acceptable. But I'm talking about physical and aesthetic requirements that you may have. In real life, you may fall for someone who is not quite 6 foot, but you got to know them organically and you fell in love with them, and etc, etc. But when it's online, you may have limited yourself by swiping one way or the other based upon some sort of shallow aesthetic and arbitrary requirement that you've made up in your own mind. Additionally, you want to be authentic. Don't pretend you love whatever band, sports, anything, just because it's not going to benefit you in the end. I actually asked my male friends what they would like or not like a woman to do on a date, and they all said that women on dates that are on their phones are incredibly annoying. And I agree, because I actually was on 2 Bumble dates where I caught my date swiping on the app while we were still on our date. And it's amazing how incredibly unaware and insensitive people can be. So this brings us to the fun part. Okay, so we'll start with guy number 5, and that's the family guy. And by the family guy, I mean there was one night where I was bowling with my entire family at Naval Air Station Coronado in San Diego, and I happened to match with the guy. And he happened to just park his plane from flying that day, and he asked if I wanted a tour. And I said, yeah, but I'm here with my entire family bowling. I'm there with like my mom, brother, sister-in-law, aunt, the dog, etc. So he said, that's fine, just bring them all over for a tour. So anyway, we all went on a tour of his plane, his hangar, and my brother and my sister-in-law, they were in on it. Like, they knew we literally have never met. But my mom asked how we met, and I think I just made up something, because I think if she had found out the truth, she would have been a little bit freaked out. So date number 4 is the overreacting guy. And this one was a little weird because he was like very sweet, but like in an interesting way. So started off, we went on a first date, went well. Went on a second date, grabbed coffee real quick. And then he kept like texting and texting, and I was giving very like lazy, short replies back, and he wasn't picking up the hints. I personally do not appreciate being ghosted. I don't think anyone does. So I just called him and I said, look, you're awesome, but I just don't see this going anywhere. And then he yelled at me on the phone, well, thanks for letting me know. And then he hung up, and that was that. So date number 3 is the future coworker. So this one is very odd. It showed that we had mutual friends in common because it was like linked to your Facebook accounts. So I knew he wasn't a complete stranger. Anyhow, we met for dinner and it was a good time. Afterwards, I thought it was going to be a goodbye kiss. It ended up being him like trying to suction off my mouth with his lips. Anyway, I told him he should probably stop. He apologized for slobbering all over this. So anyway, I never thought of him for like over a whole year. Didn't even cross my mind. Then one day I'm sitting at work and I turn around and he's there. And I got to show him around because he was the new guy. So I never brought it up to him once. He never brought it up. And we actually work together just perfectly fine and get along very well. Kind of like has like a vibe of like a brother or so. But anyway, I wonder, does he ever think about it? I don't know. Either way, the Air Force is too small, so be careful, guys. Okay, so now we're at date number 2, and that is the neighbor. So this one makes me cringe because I made such a mistake. I matched with this doctor and we went to this coffee and wine place and we had a good time. And then he asked me if I want to go to his apartment rooftop afterwards, which I said yes. That's mistake number 1. Then mistake number 2, he asked if he wants to drive me, and I said yes. I could be dead right now. So we get to his car and super awkward, he drives the exact same car as me. So same color, year, model, and my car's from 2010, okay? we get in the car, he starts driving, and it's like we're going to my place. So I was like, I look over at him, I'm like, where do you live? And we end up back at my, or I guess our apartment complex. So then we go to the rooftop and we have a decent time, but it's like, you know, I pay the amenity fee for this, so it's not that special to me. I saw him months later, like in the elevator with a girl, and he looked happy, so I'm happy for him. Just don't do what I did. I'm lucky to be alive. Okay, so this is number 1. So this one is the Pentagon stalker. And it's not technically a stalker though, I would say, because that place is freaking huge. It takes a lot of work to stalk someone. But anyway, matched with this guy. He looked nice, cute, good job, whatever. So we meet at this, it's kind of like a speakeasy, really cool spot. And oh my goodness, he's been posting photos from like 2006 because, I mean, or he had very strategic angles, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I'm like, okay, I see how this is you, but it doesn't truly reflect what you look like right now, but I'm trying not to be shallow, so I did get to know him a little bit, and out of politeness, I had 2 drinks and then called it a night and went my way, he went his way. And that was fine. Also, didn't think about this guy for like, I don't know, 6 months or something. And then one day I'm at work and I'm in the hallway, like on my phone or so, and I feel like on my shoulder, like a tap tap, hey! And I'll turn around like, what? And it was that guy, and I completely forgot that he worked there. I said, oh geez, hi, hello, how are you? And then he's like, doing good. And anyway, so I was still there finishing up conversation or whatever on my phone. Maybe 8, 9, 10 minutes later, I feel another like, hey, don't be a stranger. I'm like, really, dude? Okay. Thankfully, I never saw him again and moved on from that position. That was actually a very good job there, and I'm very lucky to have worked there. So for the first bonus is the NSYNC liar. And I'm a huge Backstreet Boy fan and just all boy band fan, period. Anyway, I went on this date with this very handsome lawyer and we got along just great. We had tapas, whatever. And he mentioned that he met Justin Timberlake and they partied together and etc. And I said, oh my goodness, that is so cool. So anyway, I showed him a picture of me and like Backstreet Boys when I met them. And then he texted me the next day and the conversation was going just fine. We were going to meet up again. But then I asked him for the photo of him and JT. And after that, he just completely didn't reply or anything. And I seriously think it's because he got a little bit buzzed and he lied to me about meeting NSYNC or Justin Timberlake, and I think he was embarrassed and he couldn't like go through with this lie, which is such a shame for him, really, not for me. Because it was so unnecessary. So again, be authentic. You don't need a lie. And the very last bonus is the friend. So I matched with this gentleman and he was also a doctor or radiologist and very charming, cute guy. But then I asked him a few of my non-negotiable questions and I asked what religion he was or what his beliefs were, and I see myself personally marrying a Christian, but I will talk to anybody, and you know, I need a mix of friends. I'm interested in other perspectives as well. But just for my own sake, I do see myself marrying a Christian, and he's not a Christian, good guy, and he asked if we could just still meet. So anyway, we met and we had such a good time on our non-date. I paid for myself because, you know, friends, they'd go 50-50. And I had such a great time with him, and he's one of my good friends, and he's a super smart dude. He's like awesome, and that's one of the best things that have come out of these dating apps is I met that friend, I met a great girl crew on the BFF mode of the app in San Diego. Thanks guys. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe link, and I'll see you in the next video. You can also follow me on Instagram. Alright, bye.